We don't keep it real. We really keep it, do the right thing, get the right thing done to you. You already know what it is, man. Live from New York. I'll let your boy, you already know what it is, man.
What it is, it's your boy Young Cash, representing that Duval County. Chilling with my boy Hollywood Red. Y'all already know what it is. Yeah.
What up, it's Boosie Badass. You got it locked with Hollywood. You know what it is, Boosie Badass.
This is the Hollywood Bridge Show.
You already know.
Say what's up to the fellas. Your host, Slim Cat, Deacon Weasel, and Mr. Hollywood.
You know what it is.
This is the Hollywood Bridge Show.
You already know.
Say what's up to the fellas. Your host, Slim Cat, Deacon Weasel, and Mr. Hollywood.
You know what it is.
Say what's up to not just the fellas tonight. We got the ladies here tonight. And this is the Hollywood Red Show on Friday nights at 8:30 on the Strategize Network. And I want to give a special shout out to my guests in the building tonight. Shout out to ladies. Y'all want me to give y'all a special introduction, or you want to do it yourself? I'm just playing. I'm gonna do it. I ain't trying to put y'all on the spot like that. So shout out to two of my two special people in my life, and also two special people that is on the Strategize Network. Shout out to the ladies in the building tonight.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that was the right one because I didn't mean to press that the first time. So shout out to to the ladies that's in here with me. Shout out to my wife, Dr. Mir. One of the two co-hosts on the Fishing for Love, and my sister, our sister, Becky K.
Howdy.
Let's not be too shy.
Yeah.
Y'all don't act like y'all ain't been in front of people before.
I know. You're gonna ease in on it in there.
And shout out to my co-host that's out there, Deacon Weasel. Shout out, brother. And shout out to Slim Cat. I see you over there, brother. I see you, but I don't see you. And shout out to our special guest, Pumpkin Spice. How you doing? How you doing, Pumpkin? We appreciate all of y'all tonight on this special holiday session of the Hollywood Red Show. But yeah, we doing part 2 of the relationship series, and I'm glad we got some ladies in here because last week it was a bunch of fellas, and I think the fellas was kind of overextending themselves because we were speaking for what we needed some ladies to talk about. So I'm so thankful that we got ladies in here tonight. So just to give a little bit of overview of what we're going to talk about tonight, we're going to kind of review some of the questions that we had last week, and the topics of the night are as is. First one, how long does it take to know if they are the right person? Becky K, you want to give me something on that before I get too far? Because I see that beautiful smile over there like you got something to say.
Oh, that is a question, huh?
Ooh, that means that you're going to be the first one to go to when we get back and unpackage that.
Oh.
And then topic number 2. Do independent women really submit to men? And I want to give shout out and credit to Pumpkin Spice because she was the person that kind of influenced that question. Shout out to Pumpkin Spice. So you know you gonna be the first person to answer that question. And number 3 is, what is marriage in today's society? Is it still something biblical, or is it just something that's fleeting and something that changes according to what society standards and what the court of public opinion deems to be necessary? If I had a sound effect, I'd do the ding 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 to begin this matchup between the battle of the sexes. Not that I'm against the ladies, and I'm hoping that none of the ladies are against the men, but nonetheless, let us begin. So before we get started, I want to give everybody an opportunity because we got a lot of new people on here tonight. So let's go ahead and start giving some introductions out there. Dr. Mir, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really good. This is my wife, my beautiful wife, and it is also less than 24 hours past her birthday. So let's give a shout out to my wife that turned forever 21.
Yes, bro.
Thank you.
Happy
Thank
belated,
you.
baby. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, I'm your husband, so I'm doing great.
Oh, good answer. Good answer.
And what is it that you feel like compelled to talk about tonight? I know we're speaking on relationships, and I'm hoping that I am a good example for you to use as a sample. A sample to use from tonight. So hopefully she got some good substance to use.
I hope so. We'll see.
I hope so too. And sister, how you doing?
Feeling good.
AKA Becky K.
Feeling good.
Man,
Feeling
I
good.
thought I had everything kind of organized, but I see you kind of look discombobulated over there. Is your headphones right? We need 2 seconds to straighten you out.
I hear pretty good. I hear everything.
All right, great. Well, sister, and I'm gonna be politically correct after this and just go with Becky K.
Okay.
But I just had to do the right introductions. So I think that this is a good topic for you as well, being that you're speaking from the AKA single status, not trying to put no spotlight on your situation.
Single and ready to mingle. You must be Bible believing.
Oh my gosh, this is not an ad.
Fire baptized.
Let's go on, brother.
Love Jesus.
What you got to say, brother? What were you bringing
I
at
was
me?
educated.
I was just trying to be the hammer that's breaking the ice. That's all I was doing, just breaking
Be
the
handy.
ice.
We need a handy.
Your wife over here had a whole
Sorry.
ad commercial.
She's beautiful.
Commercial break. Thank
She's
you.
gorgeous.
However, this is not what we came for.
She's
Oh.
successful. Sorry.
It sounds like you're trying to be the dating app for her.
I'm trying to be an auntie.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is.
All right. Well, I'm gonna bring in our guest tonight, Pumpkin Spice. How you doing?
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Doing well.
Doing
How
good.
are
How are
you?
you?
Great. Doing great. Happy holidays to you.
Same to you, and happy belated birthday to your wife.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Slim Cat, where you at, brother? Where you at?
What's up, man?
I'm hoping that you ain't drinking too much Paul Masson tonight, brother. Don't fall asleep on the microphone, because you know you gotta. I ain't throwing no shade, brother, but you know what you do. I still got nothing but love for you, brother. Don't fall asleep tonight.
Y'all wasn't
Okay.
30-minute sessions with one person talking. Where you at, man? Y'all don't pass the mic enough, man.
Oh boy, that's what happens. And so Paul is not. It ain't Paul's fault, or is your fault?
Nah, y'all be talking for 30 minutes a person. I get overwhelmed.
Anyway, and shout out to our to the Deacon Weasel. What's going on, brother? I ain't never heard you speechless. If you said something, I missed you, brother. You doing all right over there, Deacon?
Hey, shout out to everybody, man. Brother Angle. Yes, sir, man. Ready to get this thing. Happy birthday to sister-in-law. And hey, let's do it, brother. Let's do it. And
I appreciate it, brother.
Ladies. Yes.
Well, you know what? I feel inspired to try to go to, I think, the hot topic out of all this. And so I think I'm going to jump right into topic number 2, even though it's going to be topic number 1. Ladies. And I mean ladies. So fellas, I'm not talking to y'all right now. Do independent women really submit to men? And Pumpkin Spice, being that I ran into you vicariously off of Facebook, your topic just jumped off the net and was all in my face, and I felt a need to respond. And I am so thankful that you had some really good, refreshing, and insightful comments that was on your page. Give me, and I've noticed that on your page that you often provoke these type of questions. What is your reason for having relational questions? And I think I might have asked 2 or 3 questions at once. So the first one is, what has inspired you to have these relational questions? Because I see you have a lot of attention on your page. It seems like you got a lot of traction, like you specialize in these questions. Pumpkin Spice, how you doing?
I wouldn't necessarily say I specialize in it. I just like controversy. I just like
you want the smoke. That's what you want.
I want all the smoke. I just like controversy. I just like to see people's thought process. Men, women, whatever. So I'm just that person. So I like to have the conversations people don't like to have. That's why I post those questions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So do you speak from a single standpoint, or are you in a relationship?
I'm in a relationship. I've been in a relationship for like 8 years. I've been divorced. I've been married. So from all angles. So it's a lot of colors on that portrait that you painting in. I see. I see. Well, let's get straight into it. So your response, because I think that a lot of people tapped into your question, but from what I remember, I don't think I saw you really make a distinction on how the way that question, how the way it referred to you. So why is it that you think that question is relevant? I'm going to go back to it because it was really like more like a statement, and it was independent women do submit to men. You just have to actually be a man. And I think the man part is what got everybody. So it was more so like a statement. So for me, I identify as being independent? Yeah, to some extent, because a lot of people, I don't like the word independent because we do want a man and to help us in some things that you guys are supposed, like taking out the trash, fixing the car, putting gas in the car, the tires, providing, etc. So I don't really like the word independent, even though a lot of us use it. That's a whole nother conversation. So do I believe we do submit to a man? But for me, my answer would be a man have to know how to lead, and he got to know where he's gonna. I'm not gonna allow a man who's gonna drive me into a brick wall to lead me. I'm not doing that. So you have to have a real straight foundation. We have to have the conversations. We have to know where we're going in order for me to be submissive to you. Now, if I have a man and I that you're not good with finances, your emotional intelligence is not where it needs to be. Like, those things are red flags for me already. And I call women who like to stay with men when they see red flags, build a man. So a lot of us don't leave because we like, okay, we can fix it, we can work with it or whatever.
She said build a man.
Yeah,
I like
that's
that
what I
term.
refer
A builder man.
Bob the Builder. You know, that's what we be trying to do.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but I like that. I like that. I like it. Builder man.
So we not in 2024 and so forth. We're not building no men. So let me just be straightforward because I can talk all day. If you don't know or have a straight line or thought process of where you want to go in the next 4 or 5 years, I'm not going to allow you to guide me, and I'm not going to be submissive to you at all because you don't even know where you want to go. So how you going to take me to where I need to go?
Yeah.
Straight point. That's how I feel about it. But a lot of people in the comments had a whole lot more to say. Okay, whole lot. So let me just read this one comment about this guy here. I won't say his name. He said, "Only my people," which he means us, people of color, "speak like this. No other people think this way, and we are the least to be married. Unfortunately, they make us believe only thing a man is good for is money, and that's why Black people date out their race because men pick the woman, not the other way around. So trust this will keep our women single." So, and I'm making it short because he wrote a whole lot. So he's saying because of the fact we do not want to be submissive to a man who does not know how to guide, we will be single. When the other race has been taught that from day one. When these women are of age, their parents groom them to go for the man who can lead and guide and have the finances to do what they need to do to take them to the next level. We just aren't groomed like that. So he don't even know what he's talking about. But yeah.
Was he married or is he married?
No, he got 4 children, 3 baby mamas, and is single too.
Well, there you go. There you have it. That tells absolutely everything. You can't lead anything. You can't lead a horse to water. That clearly says it all. I get so tired of people speaking on things that they have no idea and no real clue about. Theoretically, it sounds good in your head. It sounded good to him when he said it, I guess, but he has nothing to even base it on. Like it's not rational. What you said is rational. I completely agree with you. Like you do have to be a man has to demonstrate that he can lead. I consider myself to some extent an independent woman. And I agree with you with what you said in terms of like I don't technically like that term, but for all intents and purposes, a person will look at me and say that I'm an independent woman. I have a doctorate degree. I'm a Black woman. I work a regular job every day. So there are a lot of things that I'm capable of. I don't like the term because I do believe in marriage. I do believe in submitting to one another, not just a woman submitting to a man. I believe that you submit to one another because that's biblical and that's kind of the foundation that we like to use in our marriage. But I like from my own personal experience, I just remember like when I was just dating other people, my question was always like was I willing to compromise? And the times when I'm not willing to compromise, when I say compromise, agree with somebody else on something, was because I didn't feel like a person was strong enough to lead me. If you were not strong enough to lead me, then I was questioning every single thing that you did, that you said, where it made sense, where it was logical, where it was rational. And a person like that could not lead me. If I'm constantly questioning everything about you, every decision that you make, every step that you take, that means that I don't trust you with me. Right. And because I don't trust you with me, then now I have to do all of the decision making. I have to do all the decision making, which means that in that instance, I have to become a more independent woman because there's nobody in place to be able to do what's necessary for me to be able to fall back and submit one to another. So, I mean, again, when I think about that comment, all I think is that somebody who clearly has no idea what they're saying, and I'm sure that what he says hasn't been proven successful because when you say 4 kids, 3 baby mamas, the proof is in the pudding. Agreed.
Becky K, what you got over there? You say agree?
Like that. I mean, absolutely not. Not like that. I see what you guys are saying about the independent word. I guess is more so, are you resourceful? Can you go out and find things and get what you need if you needed to? Yes, I can. However,
when you're in a relationship or you're going to be married, although I'm single, I feel that you should definitely have those conversations beforehand. Are you going to be able to lead me? What is your mindset? What are your morals? Do we align? And then, yes, if that's the case, then yeah, of course, I'm happy to submit. I'm happy to work, help watch you lead. I'm happy to allow you to lead.
Let the reins go.
Yeah, I want you to, because we have a more feminine side, and we want that. We would, most women, I would say. There's different cases. It's a lot going on in the world.
Agreed.
There's so much going on. Different mindsets, but generally, women want that. They want the leader. They want to feel feminine. They want to be a passenger princess, as they say these days. So,
what's that mean? I never heard of it.
It's basically
passenger princess.
What is that? So literally, let you sit in the passenger side and let the man lead. Like let the man drive. That kind of thing. Figuratively and literally. So yeah.
So is the man the chauffeur? Is that? He said
if he know how to really drive, but if he can't drive, no.
If he can't drive,
unless they drive you slow.
Exactly.
Because I got a few fellas I know they ain't even got no driver's license.
I was just ready to say that.
Where are you taking? He has no driver's license.
You have no driver's license.
He has no.
Go sit down. What can you do? You have no driver's license. You can't even run to the store and get diapers for baby. I don't understand.
Yeah, he's the one who.
They don't even have a car, let alone a driver's license.
Right? No, I've never heard of this man. I don't know this man. Not interesting though.
Yeah. Well, I think we got some really good nuggets from the ladies so far. So, it's always two sides to the conversation. So, first reason, Slim, where you at, brother? Where you at?
Yo, what up, man?
You sound like you was getting cold feet over there. I just had to warm you up over there.
No.
I want to understand, brother, what you done heard the ladies give their 2 cents in there. So what is that, and how does that relate to you and your lifestyle? I already know. So, but I don't feel the need to facilitate your end, brother. So tell me, how does that conversation relate to you in your current situation?
It don't relate too much to me personally.
It don't.
Nah, you gotta keep it real. Don't laugh now. Keep it real.
Hey, brother, you tapped into the question, so you're gonna have to be somewhat transparent, brother.
I'm transparent as far as the independent thing. I don't think it's possible for one independent she can be submissive.
You say what now?
This is about the submissive question, right? Y'all hear me?
Say it one more time, brother, because I had a hard time hearing you, so I think maybe others may have had a hard time. You say what now, brother?
I got the cheap headphones, but I said this thing about the question about the submissive part, right? That's what we're talking about.
Yes. So we're saying that. Go ahead, brother.
No, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Well, if you need me to repeat the question for you, brother, because I think you and Paul Masson was talking while I was giving the question. So my question was, do independent women really submit to men? So the ladies already gave you some background on it. So how does that relate to you? Is what I asked.
I don't think an independent woman can be submissive. I think they really rely on.
Why not?
I think they rely on because they independent. I think they really don't need a man. So I feel like most of the time they probably want a guy they can control. Most of the independent women, they rather be the people in charge and control the guy. from my experience.
I guess that maybe a little bit of background needs to be the definitions, because definitions are key. Because just as what I saw when Pumpkin Spice had the question posted on her page, I noticed that in the comments that there were several men that said, "Well, what is your definition of a man?" And I think that is key. And so, is that something that you're in question of, Slim Cat? Is that what causes you to have some disagreement with what an independent woman is, or what your definition of what an independent woman is to you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, exactly. So expound
a little more for me.
I just feel like if a person, this is what I believe. I just feel like if a woman, if she independent, man, she really don't need a guy, man. And I feel like I dealt with somebody independent before, and they try to bully the situation. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't a good feeling. So I guess it depends on the woman too. Like I said, everybody's different, man. Some women, it's very different for different people. But from my experiences, when I was living in Orlando, they try to bully. They want you to do it. They want you to be vegan. They try to control everything. I wasn't with it.
You said what? She wants you to be vegan. Now we're talking about dietary stuff. Where is this coming from?
Oh my gosh!
But you do realize that when anytime a person has a sense to. Anybody has the desire to be completely in control of something, it's all rooted in anxiety. So that means that there was probably something about how a situation was handled, either in the past or even in the current situation, that made them anxious about what was going on. So they felt the need to let me be in control of every aspect of the situation. Anytime somebody is I have to have extreme control over every aspect of this situation, it's all rooted in anxiety. So what causes that individual to feel so anxious that they feel like I've got to control everything? If they're in a relationship with somebody and they feel anxious all the time, what's making them feel that way? And I'm not saying it's your fault, because it could be a past situation. It could be a past relationship that caused them to feel that way. However, what if you decide that you want to be in a relationship with this individual? What are you doing to make them feel less anxious? And if you feel like the anxiety is too much for the relationship, where it makes it toxic, then why did you choose a toxic person in the first place?
Well, I think that it's just like a beautiful woman putting makeup on her face. Is that you don't really see what's up under there, so you see the surface. The surface looks pretty, and we're not. And by that I mean that the real deep topics are being discussed. It's real surface level. So if she's guarded or he's guarded, I think that I don't think I'm going to refer to our situation. We unpacked the real deep questions right off the bat.
We sure did.
So I wasn't. The makeup didn't matter. I wanted to see who was in your soul. Mm-hmm. You know, you're beautiful. I love you, and you know.
Oh, so sweet.
Yeah, you know, hey, baby, hey, I love you, baby. I love you.
Oh boy.
Oh my.
But I wanted to make a comment to what's his name, the guy with the black hat. I'm sorry.
Slim Cat.
That's Slim Cat. KT.
Oh, Slim Cat. I think the reason why, just speaking, was the woman older or younger?
She about a couple years older. Yeah.
Older. Yeah. And did you have your stuff together before you came and became one with that woman?
No.
Okay. That's two. And I'm pretty sure, Slim, I'm pretty sure that lady gave you a couple things for you to do so she could see if you can actually lead, and you fumbled. So then at that point, she didn't feel like she could give you anything else to hold on to.
And that's what I mean when I say, are you anxious? Is the female anxious in that situation because of the fact that whatever's going on in that situation is not making her comfortable enough to feel like I can sit back and relax? If she can't sit back and relax, again, that sense I gotta control everything, that comes out of anxiety, and that anxiety is like, okay, I feel like it's not handled. Things are not being handled, or they may not be handled. Whatever happened in that situation, or again, it could have been, I guess it could have been a situation before. Whatever is happening in that situation that makes her feel like, you know, you can't handle me, then now I feel like I've got to be in control of everything.
No, I feel like these new generation women, they want to groom the guys. They want to groom these guys.
It's not grooming. Y'all want us to, like I said, y'all want us to build y'all. Y'all building a man. I said that before. A lot of men. I don't want to say just black men, but I'm gonna say men in general because I have Caucasian sisters-in-laws, brothers-in-laws that have same issue. Where I don't feel like most parents, depending on your cultural background, where you're from, how you grow up, a lot of parents don't focus and have the conversation with us to tell us how to love someone else, how to be emotionally available, financially provide, all that's there. They teach us that, but emotionally, I'm from the island, so emotional ain't no I love you, ain't no I kissing you, none of that when I was growing up. My mom do it now to the grandkids. But growing up, God forbid my mom say she love you, give you a kiss or a hug. That's not even heard of. So a lot of us don't even know how to show affection and really genuinely love someone unconditionally with no conditions. We don't know how to do that because as soon as they don't do what we want, oh, I'm out of there. That's the problem.
Well, let's keep this rotation going. I know Deacon Weasel. I know he's stirring that pot over there, brother. Don't you're not running a 5K, so don't be long winded.
No. Yeah, you ready for me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
We are, brother. What you got?
Oh, okay. Well, first off, hey, Hollywood, you might want to turn the music down just a little bit, because I want this to be heard, man. Because we are.
Oh my goodness!
Got to be heard. Yes. Man, and y'all gotta forgive my brother's sexual topic, man. But we're gonna get into this. A lot of let's be honest about where we at today. As I'm gonna just speak as a black man. I feel like a lot of the things that's going on right now, we don't choose. We don't. How can I say it? We don't choose who we want to be with. We just pick who love us, right? So with that being said, we're in this situation. We're in this situation to where we're dealing with a female that's coming from our community. Like, we just deal with whatever she's bringing to us. Now, me growing up in the 90s and the 80s, it wasn't like this. It wasn't this bad. We got this prostitute culture where everything about money, everything about this and that, and all this stuff, man. So with that being said, I feel like love, because I feel like the woman, she chooses the man. We men, we don't get to choose the woman. Like, we just get the love that's accepted to us. So if she choose these guys that she know that ain't no good, then that's on her. I feel like if you know my daddy, if he ain't right, why you slept with him? Why you chose him? You have to choose these raggedy dudes. And I feel like women have gotten away with that. And nobody has ever chastised our moms and asked our moms, how come all of us in these situations to where we're not loved? Why we don't have dads in our house? Why nobody teach our black sisters how to love black males? Like, why is it always this all the time? Because there's so much hatred and there's so much of this. And why? Why can't this change? Because we had love before. It wasn't always this bad. But it just seemed like it's just this way now. And nobody want to be honest. I think a lot of people want to coddle a woman's feelings. If the pastor on Sunday told the truth about what's going on in our community, a lot of this stuff will change. But everybody got to be held accountable. It just can't be we men. And with that being said, I ain't gonna be long-winded, but I just feel like a lot of the times our moms and just the women that's in the community have not been held accountable on the choices that they have made with these men that they pick.
Wow. Well, I see. I feel that there are a lot of digital women eyebrows that's being raised.
I just want a clarification.
I got so much I need to say.
I have a question
Becky
to ask.
K, you tapping in? What you got?
I want to make sure I'm understanding correctly what you're saying. So are you saying that women are
sound like black women?
Yeah, black women are making the choices to be with men who are not good to them, and if you calling yourself a good man or a good option for black women are not in control of who chooses you, and so it's kind of like a cycle because only the women get to choose and the men don't have a say so in who they allow into their lives. Am I okay?
Yeah.
That's a lot to unpack there. Okay, so I kind of, I will say I'm probably in a different generation than you. So maybe it's a disconnect there. But from what I've seen it the reverse, that women are accepting the bottom of the barrel because they don't know how they don't know how to love themselves, and they haven't been shown the love, that they deserve. So they see themselves not as high quality. So they're accepting these bottom of the barrel, bare minimum men. Cause I feel like the men has more control of, a relationship, or how fast paced the relationship goes, or, the movement. I don't see a lot of women who are in those situations saying that I'm going to go out and choose a man that's no good for me, but I'm a high value woman. So
I'm glad you added that, because that high value woman has been trending for a while.
Yeah,
that word is so overrated.
It is. I agree. It is overrated, but I understand like what it means. Like I feel like it does have some, I'm going to say it, value. It has some importance, because if people think of themselves as high value, you're not going to let anything and everything come into your life, treat you a certain way. You're not going to settle for the bare minimum. And, when I talk about bare minimum, I'm talking about, just, decency of communication, consideration, like the simple things. And then you add, there's levels to a relationship, right? So you start adding, what gives a person charisma, like why do I like you? Because you're doing more than the normal kind of thing. So for me, I'm saying like, if a woman has been treated a certain way in her childhood, there's trauma there. She doesn't really know what real love looks like. I do agree to that part, that there's a lot of cycles happening where people don't know what real love looks like. However, I think because women don't know what real love looks like, they're choosing these men, they're accepting these men who are doing any and everything to them. And that, if they knew what the true value of their worth was, then they wouldn't just be allowing anything.
Mm-hmm.
How can we fix that though?
How can you fix that? Because if you really, so first of all, you got to learn about what a healthy relationship looks like for yourself. If you got to work on yourself before you start going after somebody else, that's how you fix it. That I teach about. With the population that I work with, I teach about healthy relationships all the time. This is a big topic, and I'm always in situations where somebody will say, well, I thought that this person was good. And I say, what did you base it on? You started this relationship with this individual, and what did you base it on? And everything is surface level. Oh, well, that person looked good. Oh, well, they smelled good. Oh, well, when I saw them at the club, they danced. I like the way they was dancing. I like the way they were moving. And I like, yeah, but okay, so what else is there? There has to be a whole lot. Okay, I get it. You need to be attracted to the person that you with. I'm very attracted to my husband. I'm so glad that he looks the way that he looks. I have to be, yes, that initial attraction, but it's got to be a whole lot more to an individual than that. Okay, it's got to be a whole lot more. And the way that people base things on, for relationships on certain things these days is ridiculous. So there are red flags. There are signs of toxicity with an individual. You decide, you make the choice to continue that cycle. You're saying, if this woman comes and she chooses me, it's her fault. No, both of y'all play a role in that. You play a role in how you treat her.
Let me interject really fast. Everybody's making some great points, but I think that we need to develop some really good foundation so that we're all speaking the same language. And I think the first language is because the last word to this question, man, I think that the women need to tap in and say, what is your definition of what a man is? Because if we look back in times past, I think that definition has been interchangeable. It's been changing. And so a man sometimes is based on his finances. A man is based on what if he's able to make her feel safe, that he's able to go out there and I don't know, he's able to intimidate men because he's like overly masculine, all these different ways that I think is been wrong definitions of what a man is. If he's got muscles popping all out his shirt, what is your definition of what a man is, Dr. Mir?
What is my definition of what a man is? I don't know that I've ever really thought about a definition of a man other than they have XY chromosome. But you know, if you're asking about like the qualities or what's the qualities of like a real man, I mean, it's of several things. It's not just one thing, right? A good solid man. Let's talk about that, because there's a difference between a person that has a solid mindset, a solid man, versus, you know, somebody that's just
let's not get it all complicated. Let's just keep it strictly to what your definition of what a man is. And I don't mean by his sexual nature that he has a penis.
But
that's not what I'm saying.
My definition, that is my initial definition. Now, and I have to, you say don't break it down, but for me, you know, I'm very detail oriented. We talk about this all the time.
I love your genius.
For that purpose, I have to break it down. So a solid, strong man would be somebody who is has a higher level of emotional intelligence. Is somebody who is, when they talk about emotional intelligence, that means that you are aware of yourself, your own personal emotions, how you function, your cognitive or thought processes. And in addition to that, you are also aware of others, right? And how your actions, your decisions, your beliefs, and the way that you function, how it impacts others. That's emotional intelligence. So that's one thing that's important. You do have the ability to lead. And when I say you have the ability to lead, I mean that you have the ability to sit down and have a conversation about, okay, this is what we're going through. This is what we're experiencing. How are we working this out? You have strong communication abilities. Okay. You have good conflict resolution skills. All of these are important things when I'm talking about what a man is, a solid man is. They bring something to the table. When I say bring something to the table, I'm talking about wisdom. For me, wisdom comes from God. That is my belief system. Okay. Your wisdom it has to come from God. And so I also believe that there are going to be times where a person may not be 100% perfect in all of those areas. However, if you have a good, solid foundation in Christ, means that you're constantly growing and you're constantly seeking God for your own personal growth, which means that you'll constantly be growing, you'll constantly be developing, and you'll constantly becoming who you are supposed to be, who God created you to be. And for me, all of that is part of being a man. Now, for some people, that Christian aspect has no role, but for me, that plays a really huge role, and that is really what brings people to the level of maturity, because they can recognize. It also helps them to recognize I may have flaws in these areas, I may have deficits in these areas, but because of who I am serving, who I try to be, I'm gonna come up, I'm gonna level up in those areas, and I'm gonna keep trying. I'm never going to stop trying.
That's solid. But see, the thing that even though that those, you know, I have no problem with your response, but see, we're talking about a definition of a man, because see, some of those responses, I think, is something that also equates to a definition of a woman. When you're saying conflict resolution, a woman should be able to do that too, right?
They should.
So it's not consistent to just say a definition of a man. That's my question, because that's what we're discussing. We didn't say a woman at the end of that question. It was a man. Mm-hmm. So definition of a man is key, and I'm harping on that only because I think when I seen the comments in reference to this question, it was well, I'll follow a man if I'll do this if, and I think that is condescending for somebody who is still a work in progress, which we all are. But I think most of the time it's a man that's being put in that spotlight. Or well, you got to step up.
I don't, because where do black women get the connotation of angry black woman? It's not just a man that gets put in the spotlight like that. Or where do they get the fact that they say all black women now have to go, or black men are dating white women because they can't get certain things from black females? It's not, that's not, because they're essentially looking for some of the same stuff. They're essentially looking for some for similar things, and that's all well and good. But I don't necessarily think that that changes any of what I said.
Well,
if that makes sense.
So can we hear from some of the men? Like, what do you guys think a man is?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, pass that over. Matter of fact, shout out to our next guest that tapped in, Moon P in the house. What's up, brother?
What up, Moon P?
Are any other men gonna have to speak?
I thought when I see him tapped into the chat, so I was gonna let him tap in. But since I'm talking, I'm gonna give a definition for a man. I believe what I try to strive to be. I think a man, number one, as Dr. Mir said, emotional intelligence, even though I think that's something that an adult, I think that's adulting 101. I don't think that's just consistent to a man, but because he has to, he's supposed to be the security. A woman is a nurturer by nature. A man is supposed to give security by making her feel safe. So I think that he has to have that. He has to have that in his system. He unconsciously he wants his woman to feel safe, and because the woman is the one that's nurturing the family. So if she feels safe because the man is giving her that safety, then she is able to give it to the children at times when the man is out of pocket. He's out of the house, and so she's reminding them that she feels safe, and that keeps the family safe. So security is what I think a man provides by his presence, by his word. I think a man's word is important, because both, even though that truth should be something that both a man and a woman seeks, but I think a man's word means a lot. So what he says, he needs to mean what he say, and he needs to do his best to follow through with what he says. There's times that I think that's still, we're all human. They fall short. We all fall short, but your word needs to be important. And I think that third, I think that he needs to understand what battles need to be fought. Just because you have the ability to win that battle, is it always worth fighting? Sometimes it's worth you just speaking your words, and then there's times where you need to put force in that situation. I think that kind of crosses over in security. So I just want to go back to your word needs to mean something. So those are the first things that come to my head. Slim Cat, Deacon, either one of y'all can pick up after that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man. My stepdaddy was a man. Just a man. Nowadays, it just seemed like your resources and your money is what manhood is all about. And if we're gonna be honest and real, I feel like the politics have gotten into a lot of our females' mindset, that Democrat Party, to make them feel like they don't need a black man. So, so I feel like a lot, and don't get me wrong, race gonna always be brought up, because as a black man, everybody is against us. Black men, we never cannot talk about race, because we as black men gonna be attacked no matter what. So with that being said, I with this whole manhood thing, I feel like once that we all got financially situated, because look at life now. No other races have to go through what we going through as black people, especially as black men. These gender wars, all this music telling the women that they don't need a man, use him for his bag and his money, this and that. You got these fake guru on YouTube telling women that they just use us for money and stuff like that, no matter how good we look or this and that. So manhood has been, it's very confusing. And if you look at a lot, let's be honest too, a lot of the men that a lot of the women in our community do look at as men are some dysfunctional men, the bad boys. Let's talk about the homosexuality, those type of men. So we got to really get to the core of this thing. And it's sad that the church, a lot of black churches used to be the home of where we could talk about these issues and get the black family situated and straighten out, but we don't have a pastor that's willing. It's like we all got to pander to the woman and lie to her in order for us to make it in life. And that's sad. And because if you look at our community as a whole, look at us, we're at the bottom. We need men, we need these black families. We need the love from each other. And I would rather be honest to everybody. Hate me for what I'm saying, but I'd rather be real with you than lie to you and make you feel good and knowing that we out here losing.
Well, we've had two men tap in. Becky K, what is your definition of a man?
See, I think that why there's been so many answers, because that question is so subjective. It's based on a lot of different things, because I can say what I feel like a man is, but the next person who, based on their experiences, based on how they grew up, based on what they want out of life from a man, is going to be totally different. So I don't know if that's the best, not saying it's important to discuss, but I don't know if it's going to get anywhere, because we're all talking from different experiences. And so what really is important is for the person, and if we're talking about relationships, is for the woman to decide what she feels like a man is and find that in her partner. And I can't tell, the next woman what a man is, because like I said, our experiences are different. Our wants, our definition of success is a little different. So, for me, I guess a man would be, and this is what a man is to me, because this is what I want in a man. And that's someone who is a provider, who gives me security, who makes me feel safe, who is considerate, not only of me, but of people around him. If we're going to a restaurant, I don't want him treating the staff there rudely or anything like that. I want him to be considerate and aware of his surroundings. I want him to be, culturally aware. So if we're, kind of interacting with other cultures, he knows he can talk to them. He can bring up things. He can be, inquisitive, but in the right wording and things like that. Someone who is intelligent, most emotionally intelligent, of course. Like my sister mentioned before, that's being aware of your emotions, and then of course others around you's emotions. So that's in a smaller list. That's kind of what I feel a man is. And like I said, to the next person, that none of those things may be important to them. So I can't really say what a man is, but to me, that's what a man is.
And see, that's when I think that answer gets perverted so much, because it seems like, and I'm just saying this as a married man, I'm not, this is not my personal experience, but I see a lot of women that use that space to degrade versus trying to give some encouragement. If you're saying that what a man ain't, then you need to be able to first tell what is the things that he can be able to do. Don't put 10 pounds of weight on him that makes him go under the ground. Give him some space to work with it. And I think that it goes both ways. I think the same thing when men are asked the question, well, what is a woman? I wouldn't have the gall to answer that, because I don't have what it takes to make that answer. I can say just as what Becky K says, is that, how does it relate to me? But I don't think I would be confident enough to say, well, this is what a woman is, because on any given day, I'll never be that. But I can say what's compatible. I think that the better answer is, what is the compatibility in that for me, or whoever is answering that question. But I think that question is really is misinterpreted
Yeah.
They're really the opposite sex should never be able to say what that is because they'll never know that.
It'll always be based on what their experiences were, though. Like a person is not an unhealthy person is not going to look for an unhealthy person is not going to be able to identify or choose a healthy person most of the time. Unhealthy, toxic people typically choose other toxic people. Because they can identify that. And you said something that I thought was solid. Like you hear a lot of people talking about what a man ain't, but a lot of times they're basing it on the only thing that they saw growing up.
Right.
So a man ain't this, a man ain't that. That doesn't mean that they know what a man is.
Yeah.
Because maybe I never saw what a real man looks like, and all I know is what they're not. I know what feels unsafe. I know what feels bad. I know what feels negative. So I can't identify. They may not be able to identify what a man is. All they know is, and all they're familiar is with what a man ain't.
Right.
I know this ain't it. I know that the way that I feel right now, I know this ain't it. I know that the way that this person is interacting with me, I know that ain't it. I know when I saw somebody, if they, let's say they were exposed to domestic violence, I know seeing that man beat my mama, I know that's not it. Like that may be all, I know what it ain't, but I don't know what it is. And you cannot learn that until for both sides of the fence, until you get healthy.
Yeah. And I think that goes to, Wizzo's point. He is right about the community needing to find a kind of a solution, or how do we, come together and fix that in the Black community. And I mean, it's so hard because nowadays, like you were talking about, Deacon Wizzo, there's so many different things happening, like with the homosexuals and the churches not being churches anymore. Like there's buildings and there's people in them, but are they leading like churches? It's a lot of the time that hasn't been the case lately, and it's really sad. But I think the best way to kind of combat those things is, do what we can. If we feel like, we can step up to the plate and show the next person how to love, or like if you have somebody in your life that you've seen with a good relationship, help them share that to the world. Share that with people who are struggling in their relationship. Introduce people to people who can they can see something better than what they've been seeing, because that we gotta help each other out.
That's good. I'll use an example of this, because the only way that people learn something new is if they're taught. Right? We can take an excuse and we can say, oh my gosh, look at how they're doing things, and I hate how they're doing things, and I want absolutely nothing to do with that individual. Or we can take the opportunity to teach them something. And I'll use the example, and this is like a race-based example. When I was in grad school, and I had some white friends in grad school, because I was the minority, right? Working on my doctorate, I was the minority in the bunch. So I had some white friends, and I just remember us going to lunch one day, and one of my friends had their family owned some property in South Africa. So every year they go and they would vacation in South Africa. And she was telling us this story about one time when her family was racially profiled by a Black officer in South Africa. And she was like, we were so outdone and we were so shocked and appalled. And we just said that would never happen in America, right? And this is what she said. And I said, what? And she said, we just kept thinking this would never happen if we were in the States. They would never, treat anyone like that. They don't racially profile, blah, blah, blah. And the sentence went on. And I had it was like a split-second decision. I had one opportunity. It said, okay. I said, either I'm going to just completely dissociate myself from this group of people because they live in the clouds somewhere, or I could teach them something. I could tell them something, right? And I said, and when she said this, we thought this would never happen in the States. And I said, every single day. And she was like, what? I said, it happens every single day. And she was like, well, what do you mean? And I took the opportunity, because I was actually internally, I was a little bit furious that she had the perspective that this did not occur in the United States. But I took the opportunity to teach her something. There were 4 of us in that car. I was the Black one and 3 white people. And I took the opportunity to teach them something and expose them to something different. And when I say it, drastically impacted the way that they thought, and we are still close friends to this day, and it drastically impacted the way they thought. But I could have taken that opportunity and decided to completely dissociate myself from that group of people and teach them nothing and just be angry about how they thought, right? But I chose to teach them something, and it changed the way that they thought about everything. And to the point where they would come to me and talk to me about situations that they saw on television, or they became more aware of certain things, of biases, of racism, and they would bring it to me and be like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe. They start paying attention to the things that they weren't paying attention to before. It's the same with this. We can't, one person is not going to change the world, like Becky was saying. But each time we come into contact with somebody that has like this unhealthy disposition thought process, we have the opportunity to teach them something different. So what role do each of us play? Like each, whether you say each one reach one, that's the same. Each one. So each one of us, anytime we come into contact with somebody that has that perspective, like I heard, what's it, pumpkin spice? Did I say it right? Pumpkin spice. She said that she likes controversy, but I guarantee you that when people start reading some of those different opinions that people have posted, when she posts some of those statements, they're learning something. It is an opportunity for people to learn something different than what they're used to. Yeah,
I like that. Hold on. We're gonna have to move on. We had an hour mark already. We ain't just in topic number 1, but it lets me know that it's some good stuff going on. So I want to put a ribbon around this and say that just like Dr. Mir said, that I like where pumpkin spice came from. It seems to be a healthy perspective. And I think that anybody who chooses to be public, putting their words out in a public platform for people to hear, the best way to do that is coming from somebody who's healed. You don't need to speak from a scorned perspective. And I know that word is usually used for women, but I guess the angry black man, you can't be the angry black man, and you can't be the scorned black woman trying to speak on healthy relationship strategies, because you're not that person right then, and that's okay. So to me, most of the people I see that's tapping into these conversations are not speaking from a healed perspective. They're speaking from hurt. And you have to say that. It's just like somebody who's trying to say what the Bible says versus what their opinion is. The way to be able to differentiate that is say that I believe. So you take ownership. Don't try to say all men. Don't try to say all women. So you have to draw a line to where you take ownership, that this is what I believe. So that way it doesn't get blanketed, and then the people who are not in that category don't get miscategorized. That I think is a big problem. So let's move on to category. Deacon, I know I hear you doubling back. Go ahead, brother. What you got?
No, I wanted to just say really quick, we all are victims to circumstance, because think about it. Like, who's teaching us all this stuff? Who's teaching us about BBLs? Who's teaching us about gold teeth? Like, why do, because a lot of, think about everything that we said, even with relationships. It's not us coming up with these ideas in relationships. The black man has not had the black woman in over 500 years. All these things that we're doing amongst each other are things that's being taught to us. Yeah, all of these things, like, look at it. Who's telling our women that they should wear blonde wigs? Who's doing that? It's not us that's doing that. It's people that's not from our culture putting these ideas in our minds. While we shooting each other. Like, think about it. Think about it, y'all.
At what point? Wait. At what point do you take accountability for your own life? I think it's us. Ain't no white woman telling a black girl to put a blonde wig. They're not. I'm a black woman.
I think we finna go fishing. So let's reel it back in, because I think we finna go somewhere else. We going somewhere else. Let's go to topic number 2. Topic number 2.
But if you don't hang with people of other cultures, you don't know that.
Topic number 2, people.
I'm just
saying. That was a great.
I had one thing I wanted to say, man.
All right, make it quick, Slim Cat. Make it quick, brother. What you got?
You know I'm the quickest one.
I don't know about that, brother.
You know I'm the fastest one. But listen, I'm gonna say this real quick, man. Y'all did a lot of this, and that. But a man is simply a protector, provider, and a procreator. That's it. That's all I gotta say. Let's move on. The rest is
all right, brother. Shout out to Slim Cat. That's the benediction for the first topic. Shout out, brother. Shout out, brother.
3 P's. That's all you can offer me. 3 P's.
What is it? Protector, provider, and creator. There you go.
3 P's. Yeah. All right.
That's solid. We will put a period right. We will put a period right there.
Protector, provider.
Wow. Protector, provider, and procreator. That's solid. So. Number 2. and think about this. Think about this really thoroughly before we answer. How long does it take to know if that person is the right person? How long does it take? And because
it takes me 5 minutes.
No,
single.
I agree.
People try to stretch it out too long.
It takes me 5 minutes.
People try to stretch it out too long. It don't take that long. I'm sorry.
Becky Case, is that a period or is that a comma into that statement? Is there more that goes behind that?
It's a little bit of truth. I mean, it's a lot of truth to it. A little bit of a joke, but honestly, at this big age of mine, and I can tell. I don't know if God gave me a strong sense of discernment or what. I have a 5-minute conversation with you. I'm like, next, and that is why I am still single.
Well, you know what, and that's why I was single till I met your brother, because I had gotten to the point where I was just like, nope, next, nope. You know what? I'm gonna chase my career. Maybe I just chased my career. When I met him, I was trying to decide if I was chasing a career or I was gonna actually have a family one day. And when I met him, I was actually I was on a dating website and I was trying to delete my profile because I was sick of the foolishness, as my husband likes to say. I was tired of the foolishness. Tired of it. I was tired of people like,
how does your son say it?
Foolishness. Foolishness. That's how my 4-year-old said it. Foolishness. I was tired of the foolishness. Okay. I was trying to figure out how to close down my account because I was getting like 50 messages a day, and they were just ridiculous. It was ridiculous. The stuff that they would ask you, the expectations that people on these sites had. I was in the process of trying to shut down my account. I logged in to shut it down, and then I had gotten a message from him, and I was like, he seems unreal. And I was like, well, let me just keep. And I kept telling him for like the first month of us dating that he seemed unreal because I kept looking for the red flags. I was like, okay, it's going to show up at any minute now. Like this red flag is going to show up. And I told him, what did I tell you?
I don't know, but what I told you was that, baby, I'm the real thing.
Stop it.
Oh, hell no.
I told him I thought he was fake. I told him I thought he was fake. I was like, I don't think you're a real person. Like, this is not possible. It's not possible. Because I was so used to people having all these ridiculous expectations that made no sense, especially when you weren't married to them. I was sick of hearing that. And so I knew, like she said, you could tell in 5 minutes. I gotten to the point where I could tell in just a few minutes whether or not you were for me. But see, I thought that he was like the right thing, but I was so confused because I was like, man, I've never seen this before. And so I kept telling him that he wasn't real. And then after it was all said and done, we got married in like 3 months?
On the dot.
Met each other.
Even though that
dated.
I told her, I said that because I was dealing with hurt. I came from a very toxic relationship prior to her. And I said, well, even though I seen all the good things in her personality, I said, it's going to take some years. And I really thought that was realistic. And she schooled me real fast. And as she say, the reality hit, and I said something that was looking like 2 years turned into 3 months, and glory be to God about that. That's because I found me a
good thing,
the real thing.
Okay, well that too.
What's the question?
How long does it take?
Is it Slim Cat? Slim.
Let's go to pumpkin spice first, because I want to give some time to the guests. Pumpkin, what you got?
Okay, I'm trying to not be so transparent because I'm too real, so I'm gonna tone it down a little bit. But
we want be a window. We want be that clean window. We want to see all the way through it.
I don't think there's a time limit. Everybody has, their own expectations, and some people still see the red flags and still say, okay, let me see, maybe I can do with this a little bit, or let me try to see if I can work with this. And so I don't really think there's a time limit to it, but when you meet that person, you just know, and I think the thing that we, like the online thing, congratulations that you were able to find your husband online, but I'd be scared because people be lying on there and be putting fake pictures and profiles. And
I was
like, man, that ain't for me. I like to talk a lot. So based on how a person, because I'm a healthcare provider, I know how to read people very well. So body language, eye contact, the way you move, the way you stroke your hair, the way you position your hand, your lips, like I can tell a lot about a person based on, you don't even need to talk to me.
What happens if they bald like me? How they stroke their hair?
If they do what?
Stop it.
I didn't hear him.
They bald like him. Don't pay him no mind.
He's not gonna do no with his hair. He's gonna be playing with his beard.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Puffy. I had to jab at you.
I know it. That's why you got a cap on. Got it. So yeah, everybody time frame is different. Like with my first marriage, I think we got married in like 10 months or something like that. It was good until it wasn't good because he was in secret competition with his wife. He didn't realize we were gonna be one. He was trying to up one on me. So that didn't work. I ain't on that. So next. So, but yeah, everybody's different. I don't think there's a time limit to it. It's whatever the vibe is. If it's good and the person meet all your check boxes or your list that you guys all list earlier on what it is that you want in a partner, and they fill those boxes and they align with what you align with, then hey, that's your person.
I like that. Big facts. Well, Slim Cat, what you got, brother?
Oh, me personally, man, I agree. It's not really a time limit because people change, but like you say, it could be 5 minutes. It could be after the first night. It depends on what you look for and what you like in a person. But like I say, people evolve every day. People change. You've been with somebody 10 years and they can switch mode on you. So like I said, there's really no time limit, but you don't know they're the one until you're dead. That's how I look at it.
Until you dead.
You said what?
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Oh my
goodness. If they ride with you, then you die. That was the one.
Oh my goodness.
Some people married 20 years. And then it's lost.
I kind of regret that I passed it to you, bro.
I'm just keeping it real, man.
I got a question though. Do people really start being who they are, or do they start being or do they fake it for a little bit and then they start being who they truly are?
And that's why it takes more than 24 hours. You say a day. What you say, brother? You think that it's possible you can find the right one in 24 hours?
For me, no.
Well, you said in a day.
A lot of beginning be lust anyway. You know, it really takes some time to really figure it out, but. You know, you like what you see, you know, things.
Well, brother, which really one is it? Because you just gave us a pipe dream. You just told us 24 hours, and now you say that, well, it ain't got a time limit. Which one is it, brother?
What I'm saying. It's really no limit. It depends on the person and how desperate you are.
Master P?
If you desperate, you'll like them quick, and you think they're the one, but you really don't know until you go through something. And if y'all can shake back, and then that's how I would think you would know. You gotta have
go through something like what?
Some kind of something bad gotta happen, like not too bad, but some kind of
oh my goodness.
If y'all can survive that, like a bad or something real bad.
Do you mean controversy, or do you mean a disagreement?
Disagreement, argument, controversy.
Okay, I think that's better.
Yeah.
Something that you two disagree with, and seeing how you both handle a disagreement. Is that what you're saying,
how
brother?
do they handle conflict resolution?
Let me put a little shoe polish on that, cause.
Yeah. Go ahead, man. You know I'm wrong on cut. You heard me?
Becky K, did you already get the baton, or did I'm trying to remember? Did you answer that?
Yeah, I started.
Okay, you did. Deke, where you at, brother? Where you at?
Oh man, yes sir. Okay.
Sorry.
Now,
how long does it take the deacon to figure it out?
Oh man, like you said, it takes seconds for me because I'm an energy person. Yeah, I'm an energy. I base everything off energy. Yeah, if you can go in that room with that woman or somebody, yes sir, and y'all got that good connection, that energy real good, you know, because think about it. It don't even take long to have sex no more. Yeah, I mean, hey, soon as it takes, I'm telling you, like it's all about your energy. You bring that right energy in there, and everybody's feeling each other. Bam! It is what it is. Things are so different now. It's not the way it was when we were growing up, bro. You ain't got to meet. You can have sex the first night, and everybody, you might get pregnant. Who knows? I'm telling you, man, things are different now. Yes, yes. I mean, we live in YOLO out here.
Is that not the thing? It's different, I guess. Back then they couldn't.
Let me ask this question. I think that this can probably give a deeper cut into this question.
You sure can't figure it out if you haven't sex.
So that's my question. Is sex required to figure out if that is the right person?
Nope.
No, it's not.
No. Nope. I was a virgin until I said I do.
That's a fact.
Till it's not required. You don't have to sleep with somebody before you know.
So let's answer it better. I think the better question is tangible things. What are the tangibles to be able to figure out is the right person other than what they say? What actions need to be exercised? For me, when I met my wife, foolish enough to say it was going to take years, she was consistent. I think that we got married in like she said 3 months, and within that time we were very intentional, and we both were already speaking on the do's and don'ts. This is what I need, this is what I want, and so we were both able to be able to see, well, is that something I want to do? Because there was no, we wasn't conned. I didn't manipulate her. I didn't finesse to make her think I was somebody that I'm not. So I think honesty and transparency, I think that was already said. But the tangibles that came in there was that I realized she valued me. You can tell when somebody values you because they have patience. Not everything that you say makes them offended. Somebody who's always quick to be offended, they don't really value you because they don't really understand who you are if they always think and take what you say out of context. So I think those are early signs to understand if that's the right person. And so to see how long that takes, I think how long does it take for those topics to come up? does it take a year for you to start discussing those questions? And I think that may be into consideration for those who said, well, you know, the timeline is not really, you know, it can vary. That's true. But I think it only varies when you haven't really unpacked those type of deliberate conversations. So we kind of did a boot camp in the first 3 months.
We did.
And I think I know that's what accelerated to where I was ready to say, hey, I want to marry you.
So we talked about real stuff, right? So first of all, we established the fact that we were dating for the purpose of marriage. Like, I'm dating for the purpose of marriage. Like, at this point in my life, there's no point in me dating you if I cannot have a future with you. So just out the gate, just so you know that I'm not dating for fun. Let's date to see what happens. Blah, blah, blah. Nope. I don't have time for that. I'm dating for the purpose of marriage. So that was one thing that we established up front. Are you on the same page? You on the same page? Cool. Great. We asked hard questions. I wanted to know what your belief system was. I wanted to know how you practice your belief system, because if we weren't on the same page with that, then we probably can't go much further, because then I'm going to raise my kids based on what my belief system. And if you can't be on the same page with how we raising the kids, we can't go any further than that. We asked each other about how, you know, what's your best method of conflict resolution? How do you communicate? And not only was it a question about how do you communicate, it was watching that play out at the same time. So you couldn't just tell me this is how I communicate. I'd actually see this is how we communicate.
I meant to add to what you said before. You said it was that faith. What do you believe in? I thought that I probably got nuanced into what I thought I said, but yes, what you both believe in, very important.
Right. And we used to actually do devotionals together. That was something that we did while we were dating. We would do devotionals over the phone together. We would talk about scriptures and talk about our beliefs.
And the devotionals were very instrumental, because the devotionals were focusing on relational issues.
Yep, they focused on relational issues. So it gave us the opportunity to talk about the things that people often would have issues with and what they would encounter in the context of a marriage, because we were actually like working on that, because we knew our thing was we're dating for the purpose of marriage. And then what else did we do that was very intentional? We talked about what are our plans for the future. We talked about our goals. One of the things that I always told people is, if you don't have a passport and you never traveled outside and this is for me personally, I'm not saying that this needs to be a requirement for other people, but if you haven't traveled outside of the country, you don't have a passport, you have not had any exposure to other nationalities or anything like that, then but for me, that was important, because I enjoy traveling. I enjoy seeing new cultures. Heck, I'm part Kenyan. So like I want somebody who's open to traveling and learning more about other things in the world than just what's here in our backyard. And so all of those things were important for me, and all those were some things that were important for him. So we were able to meet right there on those things. We valued the same things, and we discussed the things that were important, that things that make or break a marriage. We discussed finances, we discussed children, we discussed anything that we thought could potentially come up as an issue in the future. We just laid it all on the table, and we had discussions about it, and we would literally have 5 to 6 hour conversations every day.
That's a fact.
It was a lot. But it also then makes sense about, like, in terms of we dated for 3 months. Well, I mean, that 3 months is probably a little bit different than the average person's 3 months. Average person, they might, oh, hey, how you doing? Oh, I miss you. I didn't see you.
It wasn't just me. It wasn't just me texting her saying, hey, how you doing? And then I didn't respond till tomorrow.
Nope.
It wasn't, just trying to just do surface level conversation, but we already said that.
Yeah, it was everything was very intentional.
Very intentional. Shout out to Frank Nitt that just joined into the chat. What's going on, brother?
Nitty.
Oh, Big Frank. Dang.
Frank Nitt, what you got, brother?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
You said Frank, brother.
Oh, I ain't got nothing, man. I'm checking in. I'm just not hearing the conversation.
Frank, you got to break it down.
Late in class, but it's all good, man. So if I believe everybody so far has had a chance to take a swing at this question. So we're gonna go into question topic Number 3, which is, what is your definition of marriage? Is it a biblical perspective, or is it something that is dictated by what society deems to be fashionable, for lack of better words? So what is your definition of marriage? And whoever wants to tap on that first.
Mine is very simple, really quick.
Dr. Mayor, what you got?
One man, one woman. That's it. It's marriage. That's it. I do. That's it. That's my definition of marriage. Pretty simple.
Becky K, what you got?
Oh, I think somebody said Weezo. Oh, I thought he was going to talk. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that and under God.
Well, yeah.
It's two people who have decided, not two people, man, woman, who have decided to partner in life together, do life together, and makes vows to one another and holds on to those vows.
Mm-hmm.
Solid. Pumpkin Spice, what you got? You said you've been married before. So what qualifies a marriage to you now that you've been there, done that, and hopefully that's something you're still looking to do in the future? What does a marriage dictate in your definition?
Everything that the young ladies already said, pretty much. That's it. There's not really much to it. People just make it so complicated when it don't need to be. And I just want to add that you can be in a marriage. Yes, they want us to love each other unconditionally, but once you have some things that take us all the way back to everything we just talked about, if it becomes unhealthy and it's mentally, physically, emotionally draining, I don't think you should stay in that space. The spot, because I know we talk about religion and they say, you just stay there until the wheels fall.
Stick it out.
I don't know. Everything can't stay somewhere where someone's gonna either put you in your grave or take you to your grave early. I'm not a believer of that. But everything else the beautiful young lady said, I'm totally in agreement with that. That's what a marriage to me looks like.
Right, man, you came in late to class, but you was able to hear the last subject of the class. What you got? What's marriage to you, brother?
Well, first, I don't think marriage is about love. I think marriage is about duty. I think it just be two individuals that come together saying that they want to see each other thrive in life, and that comes with the bumps and the bruises. And of course, you're gonna, eventually. Well, I ain't gonna say eventually. There has to be some common attraction, some kind of love there. But it's not all about emotions, because at the end of the day, women are highly emotional. So if we let a marriage run by a woman's emotions, is always fleeting. So at the end of the day, if you have something that you're going to be dutiful for, then that's going to keep you in a place to where you're going to endure and fight through those hard times. And like the young lady said before me, yeah, of course you don't want somebody who's going to be beating on you, or having multiple relations with other people, bringing home any kind of diseases, etc. But when it comes to just hard times, maybe hardships, a loss of job, those struggling times where mental issues may be coming into play, it's about duty for those two individuals to stay together, not about feelings. That's a marriage to me.
Hey, I'm gonna pass it over to the master of ceremonies, Deacon Weezo. What you got, brother?
Oh man, brother. A marriage is a business. It's a business. One thing about a marriage, I done been married more than Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez. So I didn't, yes, sir. Boy, look at here. I done kept jobs longer than marriages. Yes, sir. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. But but nowadays a marriage is a job. If you and this woman, if you and two people can come together, be attracted to each other, clock in, clock out, make sure that y'all, I mean, because one thing about a marriage that I learned from having 2 failed marriages is not to get comfortable. A lot of the times we as men, we get so comfortable with a lot of things in that marriage, and then that's how problems get started. So with that being said, fellas and ladies, we got to look at this marriage. If I could respect my boss lady or my boss man at the job, I need to respect my woman at the crib, and it goes vice versa. One thing I hate seeing, especially now, is my ex-wife used to say yes sir and all this to her boss, her white boss supervisor, but then when she would get around me, she would talk to me any kind of way. And these were habits and behaviors. Yeah. I'm like, these were habits and behaviors that just started, when she felt like she got comfortable. I got him now. We got the kid, this and that. So what it is. It ain't no more respecting. It ain't no more cooking breakfast in the morning and all this stuff.
Oh my God.
So I look at a marriage as a business. Yeah, yes. Oh, yeah.
No more breakfast, brother. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you ain't getting them eggs and that bacon no more.
Was it because she had
kids? Yes.
So was it because she had kids? I mean, I don't know, because I know timing starts getting a little bit different once you got kids and all of this stuff. Some of the things that you used to do, you may not be able to do, but there sometimes has to be a little bit more understanding that I've got more responsibilities, so I may not be able to do all the things that I used to do before.
Well, yeah. Well, the postpartum, and I definitely understand that. With the whole kid thing, but I think when your mindset is just set on doing the right thing, it shouldn't be no excuses. I mean, but with the whole kid thing, we only had one child, thank God. But with that being said, it is what it is. But marriage to me, we got to be on the same page. Everybody got to make sure that they hold their part down, all this crazy stuff, and keep your house clean. Make sure you ain't bringing that feminism in the house and all these single friends that's going to influence your wife and all this stuff, because it does happen. And I believe in evil spirits and bad energy. Yeah, that bad energy will rub off in your household and have your lady going to the club every Saturday, and then things gonna come in your house, problems and damn. Yeah.
I like that. Well, I want to give a special shout out introduction to our other guests and host of Talks with Dr. K, Dr. K himself. How you doing, Dr. K?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Hey. I know you're a busy man and you work off of 2 hours of sleep, so I think I'm cutting into them 2 hours.
Good.
So give me your perspective on what is a good solid definition of marriage, and also about the cast members that play into that. Is it just something that a rock and a tree can do, or does it take a man and a woman? What consists of a marriage?
Well, it's very simple. Marriage is a relationship between a man and a woman. Yes, the biblical standard that has been established a long time ago by God Himself. I think that's the right definition of marriage. Anything else outside that is fake and it's not real. It can be a part of a society that's going to be successful because of the fact that when we go outside the norm, and the marriage, when it becomes outside man and woman, then it means that it's no longer the norm. It has gone into another whole thing that's foreign, strange, and we don't even understand what that is. And of course, if that's what we want or the society want to do, of course, there'll be repercussions. There'll be kind of the consequences to that, simply because the society is not going to stand with those kind of principles. They have to determine going back to the basics. What are the basics? You know, even you look at the kingdom of animals with 4 legs and 2 eyes, they also know.
Two eyes.
They know there is nothing like that. Same sex and stuff. They know it's a female and a male.
Facts.
There can't be another way. How with the intelligent when animals called human being gonna go outside that and think that we are okay?
So you're saying basically even animals know better.
Even animals know better. So if we start defining it in another way, that means that we are out of context. We are out of the reality of life. That's what I call reality of life. And everybody who calls himself and I don't want to really call name or say anything, but I want you to look at the the kingdom of the world in terms of living creatures. We are the smartest creature in this world. But when we start doing things that are different from the norm, then we have gone far below the class of being who we are into another whole unknown class.
I totally get it. What I want to do is to give a little bit of background, because I think often there's people that's trying to speak out of their pay grade. They're speaking out of something that they really don't have background in. So, Dr. K, give me you know I know your resume, but you do counseling in many different capacities,
yes,
and including marriage counseling.
Correct.
So when you're dealing with people with marriage problems, what does it take to make a marriage whole for somebody who has problems with marriage?
One thing, if they come to me and they have an issue because they have a conflict, the first thing I want to know is, where is that conflict coming from? The conflict coming from use of their time? Is it coming from understanding of who they are? Is it coming from learning how to be patient with each other? Or is it coming from the idea of love? Because sometimes we don't know what love is. And when there is no clear definition of what that is and how to practice that, and how to implement that, it causes problems in the marriage. So the first thing I look at when people come to me is whether those 4 principles are in place. If one of them is out of place, then that's what we're going to start working on. What I mean by that is, you may have a marriage that is, that looks like it's okay from outside. But when you look at those 4 principles, those principles must be intact. If one of them is out of place, there is going to be some conflict in that relationship. One, let me talk about how to manage the marriage in terms of making sure that those 4 principles are. The first principle is time. Time is with us all the time. Nobody operates outside the time concept. I don't care where they come from the moon, from Mars. Time concept is important, and it's always there whether you like it or not. Time is there with us, and we have to determine how do we spend that time. How do we intentionally spend that time? What do we put our time into? Because whether we like it or not, his time is going to be there. You're going to wake up. We have 24 hours. What are you going to do with that 24 hours? So when we come to the relationship, how are you spending the time to make it work? How are you how's your time being spent ensuring that there is that continuous, or there is continuity of that relationship? So time is there all the time. It's ours. The question is, how are we going to use it? Well, the other concept that comes with time, and this is always something that people have to learn how to do over a period of time also, is patience. Well, when you're talking about
hey, I got to give the flowers and blow the trumpet for good things is happening.
When you're talking about patience causes a lot of problems in relationships. All right, because first of all, you may plan to do something and it may not go well the way you planned it. Well, you need to understand that patience is important for you to say, hey, we have a detour here. Do we face a detour in a comfortable way, or we're going to cause chaos? But the patience does not come or does not develop overnight. Patience, you have to spend time to develop it. So the two concepts are really connected to each other, and you have to understand. You have to make sure time and patience are moving simultaneously, because if everything is not going to go the way it's planned, there's going to be some detours. Then we have to manage our detours in a very understanding way. So that brings the next concept, which is understanding. So time is needed to be spent so that you can understand what you're dealing with, so that you can understand what your relationship is, so that you can understand how to manage your relationship. If you don't have understanding of what you are into, you got some problems. And since you don't understand what you're dealing with, don't understand what you are into, just because you jumped into it, you don't know what you are up to, you have no intention of doing the right thing, then you're going to have some problems because understanding is lacking there. Where does understanding come from? You spend time to get to know the other person. You get time to know what they like. You get time to know yourself. You get time to realize I am unique in a certain way, and the way I can, get along with the other person, I have to compromise. How do I compromise that? So I have to bring that concept into the picture. But that concept of understanding this other person, understanding the situation that you're dealing with, does not happen in abstract. You need to spend time to develop it. You need to spend understanding. You need to be patient, because it's not going to come overnight. And then you need to understand the fact that all those three so far are connected.
Let me ask this question.
Go ahead.
When in the context of marriage and dealing with your clients, and I know that's confidential, but I want to ask more on a broad level. In your professional opinion, marriage by race, who do you think deals with more problems? Is does race play a role in how the marriage is depicted in our Western culture? Who deals with more marriage problems?
Well, after so many years of looking at relationships, these four concepts are non-racial. They are international, very natural concept to all of us. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter where you are from. It doesn't matter where you grew up from. If you look at all the cultures, those concepts are very important, and they apply in every culture. So I can't say one culture does better than the other. All I can say is, if a marriage is going to be successful, it has to have those four concepts. I haven't even talked about the last one yet. It has to have those four concepts. And if it doesn't have it, there's going to be some problems. There's going to be... Yeah, I'm getting to that.
Sorry.
So the fourth concept is...
So the time is the first one, then we have patience, and then we have understanding. What is the fourth one? The fourth one is what we talk about, love. Now, let me break this one and the way I look at it and when I approach it, how I approach it. First of all, let me ask you, do you love yourself?
That's good.
Because if I don't love me, I can't claim that to love somebody else. I can give what I don't have.
Yep.
Okay, and some people want to do that. They don't love themselves, and that's why sometimes you see domestic violence comes as a result of this person does not love themselves, so they're not gonna be capable of loving the other person. They're gonna be able to slap them, thinking they want to control them, and that's not possible. So I need to love me first. When I love me now, I know who I am. And once I know who I am, I can now share this love I have for myself with others. I can love my partner because I love me. If I don't love me, I can't love you. So this concept about we meet and then you talk and you know, first of all, you have two people meeting. First of all, they don't know who they are. All right, now that's a problem to begin with. If I don't know who I am, how am I going to know who you are? How am I going to even have any understanding of who you are? So I need to be able to love me. And then once I meet the other person, I get to spend time with them. I get to learn how to understand who they are because I understand me. And then also I come to the place where now I can begin develop. I can spend more time practicing being patient, because every time things are not going to go my way, and what's going to happen is that if things don't go my way, I need to learn how to step back and say, okay, that was a little detour, let's get back to that. But love makes it possible for that to happen. Patience makes it possible for that to happen. Understanding makes it possible for that to happen. Without those four principles, and go to any society, you will find those four principles work. And since they are important, I have to teach people how to how to learn those principles and how to apply them in their relationships. And look at any relationship that you see of people that is going well. Those four principles are in place. Look at the relationship that's falling apart. You will see that one of those principles is out of place. And, go ahead.
So you said time, patience, understanding,
and love. Yes.
I like that.
Keep in mind, love is very important because it has to start with me. I can't start loving you if I don't love me. I can't give something I don't have. If I ask you to give me $1 million a day, you don't have any $1 million to give me. But if I ask you to give me a quarter, yes, you have a quarter or $1 somewhere. Now that one you can give. It's the same thing when we come to love. If
overpromising something that you can't give.
Well, let me talk about this. The society we're living in. We have people who are used to fast food. They want it and they want it now. In the relationship, you can't have fast food. It's not that fast food concept in the relationship. You have to learn how to develop it. You have to be intentional to develop it. You have to be very loving to yourself so that you can then share and love the other person. But if you are not able to do that, you're not intentional in doing that, I'm sorry, you're gonna fail. You're gonna fail. So we have a lot of people who want fast food in relationships. That does not work. And if you think it's gonna work, you only are on the road. There's going to be some problems, so you better shape up.
Fast food. They want fast food in relationships.
They want everything
That's not real
right now.
Or microwave.
Microwave concept.
It's really about, when you say that, it reminds me of the concept of like when you're in a marriage and you're building things together. Like everything's not to be immediate.
No.
Like there are some things that you have to build to. There's some things that you will grow towards as a couple together.
Yes.
It's not an immediate thing with some people, and I think some marriages fail because they want everything perfect right now.
They lack that understanding.
And they lack that understanding. When everything doesn't happen perfectly immediately, they're so quick to give up and just feel like, oh my gosh, it's not working. And there's some I think key factors in that. Like to me, I think there are key pivot points where a lot of those decisions can happen.
I want to add in there. I think that you just said people are quick to give up in areas to where they haven't seen perseverance.
Yep.
If you haven't seen a successful marriage, You need to see, you need to be influenced by what a successful marriage looks like. If you're around nothing but people who don't practice that thing that you're trying to attain, how can you visualize it in order to achieve it? You need to see it in your mind first before you're able to achieve it.
Yep, that's valid.
You need to see it in your own life, not just in other people. You need to feel that you're comfortable with yourself. But if you're looking for somebody to make you whole, that's a big problem right there, because there's no way another person can make you whole.
It's not 50-50.
You have to be whole by yourself. You can stand by yourself, and then you can share yourself with the other person. If you're not whole yourself, you think, oh, I need this person to make me whole. Okay, that is a problem right there. You need to stop and quit and go back to the basics.
But doesn't that go back? That goes back to, I feel like, what we were talking about earlier, where you need to be healthy. You need to be healthy, emotionally healthy when you go into a relationship. If you go into a relationship and you're not healthy yourself, you're just taking toxicity to somebody else, and it's not going to work.
Absolutely. And again, it goes back to what? Everything we are talking about goes back to time.
Mm-hmm.
Time is everything.
Yeah.
We have to use time developing those things that we need to develop. We have to use time to develop the understanding. We need to use time to develop love for one another, love for ourselves, love for one another. And if we are trying to do something that is not connected to that, then you're gonna find ourselves in deeper problems. That's why the divorce rate is very high. Why? Because people don't know how to apply those 4 principles.
I think we've hit on some really good nuggets. Let's pass that mic around. Pumpkin Spice, what does marriage look like to you?
I think did I already answer that question?
Did you? Let me make sure. Who has not got a chance to tap in? Slim Cat, I want to ask you, but I know that your definition. I don't know if that's.
Let him talk.
I'm just playing with you, brother.
No, you good, man. You already know how I'm going. Hey, I'm gonna keep it simple. I always keep it simple, man. Marriage is high risk, low reward. That's all I gotta say. I'm going back on mute.
High risk, low reward.
Are you going to expound on that, or you think that's just explanatory on its own?
I think it's high risk for the guy, man. Because if it goes bad, you lose everything. That's all I gotta say. Y'all can continue the conversation.
Looks bad, man.
Some women lose everything, don't they?
Woo! Well, I think that we've really had a great discussion tonight. I don't know what is left on the table, but I am truly thankful for all of the great dialogue that's come in here. Shout out to Pumpkin Spice. Shout out to Slim Cat. Shout out to Deacon Weezo and Frank Nitt that came in late to class, but he's on time no matter what. And shout out to our co-hosts on the Strategize Network. Shout out to Becky K. Shout out to Dr. Mir, 2 of the co-hosts of Fishing for Love. And shout out to Dr. K.
Thank you.
Co-host of Talks with Dr. K. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
And if there's anything that anybody wants to add to it before we sign out on this good Thanksgiving week, giving thanks for the opportunity to do this. Anybody got something they want to say that was left unsaid?
Yeah, like I was gonna say, go Florida State, let's beat these Gators. Go Syracuse, let's beat these Hurricanes. That's all I got to say.
you know that's hitting a sensitive place over there for Frank Nitt. You know he love his sugar canes down there. So we ain't gonna do him bad tonight.
Let's break the cycle. Let's break that cycle.
Y'all shouldn't even be talking.
Each one reach one when we breaking the cycle.
Dick,
each one reach one.
Dick, what you got, brother?
Teach our young girls, teach our young black girls how to love black males. That's something black males do. Yeah, nobody does that. Yes,
That's
nobody does
good.
that.
That's
Yep.
good. Let's teach our young black females how to love the black males, and let's also teach our young black males how to love our young black females.
But we already do that.
Do we though?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. When
Go ahead,
a black
Okay.
male, when a black male is growing up in a household, because usually he's raised by a single black woman, she's already teaching him, oh, you need to open up the door for your woman. You need to take out the trash. You need to be a provider. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to endure any kind of mental stability that she may have. You need to do that. But we don't teach the opposite. We always know that it's supposed to be princess treatment. There's no saying for how you're supposed to treat a man.
I think it depends on how you're raised. I think that's depending on how you're raised in the household that you're raised in. And all black males are not raised with a single mom. That's not completely accurate. Now that may be some people's story, but that is not completely accurate. So there are some black males out there that are raised in a 2-parent household, and they may be taught by both parents. And I will say this, my personal opinion, I can't teach my son everything that he needs to know about how to treat a female. I can't. Some of that is going to have to be some things that his father teaches him. Some of that is going to have to be things that he observes from his dad. And there are things that my son does even now that he's 4 that he picked up from his dad in terms of how to treat other females. I hear stories just even in his classroom as a 4-year-old. He goes and he'll go and get water for the other little girls in the classroom. He does that because he sees his dad doing that. He'll take it when they're done with lunch. He'll voluntarily take some of the girls' trash, their plates and things like that. He'll take it to the trash can because he sees his dad do that. So there, I don't even think it's fair to place all the responsibility of teaching that on women. While I know that it does happen sometimes, I don't think it's fair to place all that responsibility on a woman. But I also don't think that a woman is capable of teaching a young black male everything that they need to know. So while they may be teaching them some lessons, there's still something that other black men. So for that reason, I think that if you see a black male who is only being raised by a black female, and there's something that you can pour into him about how to adequately treat another female, then I think that they should do that.
I agree. I think as you both noted, is that each one teach one. I don't have any daughters, but I would be remiss to say that I have all the qualities that it takes to teach a woman how to treat a man. You can teach them how to be able to be the best person they need to be for somebody else, but to try to teach that outside of the sex, I think that you need to concentrate on teaching a man how to be a man, and a woman needs to teach her daughter how to be a woman. Otherwise, it's going to be some confusion in there. My mother, I give my mother all the credit in the world. She taught me how to be a good person. But there was a missing link. My father was out of the loop. And so there was something missing. Now, true enough, for my wife, I took the time to intentionally be a man that I wanted to see that I was not, so that I was able to give that to her. But I didn't necessarily learn that from home. I learned to be a good person. A woman can't teach a man how to be a man. And a man can't teach a woman how to be a woman. That's my perspective on that.
Well, I think you need both energies, you know.
You need both
femininity and masculinity when it comes to raising that child. That's how you're going to make a very complete and wholesome individual when you let them out into the society. But I think it's very disingenuous to say that there aren't more children raised, especially in our community, in the Black diaspora, that there are more kids that are not being raised under single parent households, especially from my generation. Because you can see on this, just on this call alone, you have 3 to 4 Black males who have been raised by single Black women. So to say from your anecdotal experience that, okay, we teach our son this and this and that, and that's kudos. I want our Black kids to be raised in 2-parent households, but it's disingenuous to say that the majority especially in our generation, have been raised by single black mothers, and from that.
But do you think that is the ingredients for success, though? It's one thing.
Absolutely not.
So is it better to say that even though that was the reality, is that something we need to repeat?
Well, no. See, let's bring it all the way back, because the question was, why aren't we teaching what Deacon said? Why aren't we need to teach our black women how to love black men? So that's where the question stemmed all the way from. We're going off into a different lane. What I'm saying is that black boys who are raised in a single parent household, more than likely 80% of the chance is going to be by a black single mother. She's teaching that black man or that black young boy how to grow up to be able to treat the woman, because she is wanting that energy from him for her. That's why you have these mother boyfriends type of situations. You know, so it stems from that. So that's why he was coming back and saying, hey, we need to teach our young girls how to love black men, because we don't get love.
I got you.
Okay, I think there's something also we need to add to that. We can teach them how to treat the opposite sex, which is good, and we need to do that. But there's one thing that I also mentioned a little bit earlier that we need to teach them. You need to teach them how to love themselves first. If we miss that opportunity, it doesn't matter what else you do. You have to teach them, either girl or boy, how to love themselves first. Once they get that concept of loving themselves, I think they stand a very good chance of treating the other opposite very well, because they know how important it is to love oneself. And I think we don't spend a whole lot of time teaching people how to love themselves. We give them all these other things and we do all this kind of stuff, but I think we are lacking that piece of it. Yes, we can teach them how to love the other person, but you need to start with how to love themselves, how to respect themselves. When they know how to respect themselves, they're not going to allow anybody to disrespect them. Yeah. Even once we teach them how to love themselves and how to respect themselves, then it's very easy to treat the other person with kindness and with in a loving way. They will have that concept already in place because they know who they are. You know, if you don't know who they are, who you are, how can you know what the other person who they are? It's impossible. So it has to start with me first. So we teach them how to be healthy, how to love themselves, so that nobody disrespects them out there. When they see that, they recognize that and say, this is not the right way to do it. And then they change that. And they move on to a different relationship where they feel loved, where they feel accepted, where they feel that they are treated like a person. And once we do that, I think we will find more healthier people, because it starts with me. It does not start outside me.
That's good.
I like that.
That's taking some ownership and some accountability. Right?
Yes.
Man, this has been great discussions, and I want to give shout out to all the guests that's out there. And we had a couple of comments that I want to give shout out to. Shout out to Demetrius French. Shout out, brother. Appreciate you out there, and shout out to Beautiful Sounds. And we will be back next week for installment part number 3 of the relationship series. So I want to give again a shout out to all the people that's in the house tonight for the Hollywood Red Show, and we will see you next week.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. All right. Yes, sir.
Hi.
Take care, everybody.
Take care.
Dick, you know I'm going to let you close it out, brother. What's the hot seat for today, brother?
Okay. Oh, with the hot seat. All right, let's go ahead and do it. Okay. All righty. Oh God, yes. Oh, go ahead. Oh, with the good prayer. Yes, sir. Oh, dear Heavenly Father, God, I thank you for the black Arab man that on the sitco that's on the show. God, we ask that you watch over everybody, God. Hollywood Red, Wife, God, everybody. God, we pray. God, I thank God that Sexual Chocolate, God, he didn't snore, God, and sound like Miss Piggy, God. He lasted through the whole show, God.
Sir.
God, Hassalama Booba Baba Shaba. God, we ask that you watch over Brother Frank, everybody, God. God, and we pray that we can get these relationships going. God, no more love and hip hop. God, no more Lotto, no more Glorilla, God, no more Megan Thee Stallion. God, we rebuke all of them in your name. And God, we thank you, God. And we ask that you keep us, watch over Brother Frank, and God, watch over all of us, and watch over Moon P, God. And we say, amen. Hassalama Booba. Yeah. Oh, man. Yes, sir,
Deacon Weasel.
Hey, brother, yeah. I love y'all, brothers. Yes, sir. And free P. Diddy. Hey, free P. Diddy.
Oh, hell no, man. I'm talking about like, no
Free
way.
P. Diddy.
Ain't no free Wayne Diddy. He deserves it.
But, brother, I want to. What did P. Diddy do bad, though? Like,
You know what he did. If you do
everybody, and the reason why I say that, if you look at P. Diddy's situation, they grown-ups. They drove to his house.
No,
he did
man,
not force nobody to do anything.
He did, though. He used baby oil. They was sleeping when he let them
Oh my goodness, we going all over the place.
But Hollywood, then y'all just say take accountability.
No, we got to talk about it. This is important.
Yeah. Like, what did P.
What
Diddy
about R.
do to
Kelly?
be
You think
in
R.
jail?
Kelly should be free?
Well, now P. Diddy, see, they two different. P. Diddy dealt with adults. R. Kelly dealt with children. So why is P. Diddy locked up?
Diddy locked up because he put baby oil on people when they went to sleep and they woke up hurt.
We will see y'all next week, man. Shout out to everybody on the show, man. Love y'all. Good night.
Good night, everybody.